There comes a time in life when the external noise starts to quiet down, and what remains is the echo of your own soul. Especially as you grow older, the illusions of the world begin to fall away, one by one. People chase fame, wealth, and fleeting pleasures, but you, somehow, no longer feel at home in those pursuits. This isn't because you're tired. It's because you've changed. Or more accurately, your soul is finally stepping forward. If you're reading this, perhaps it's not by accident. Perhaps something in you has been stirring, a deep knowing that you were never meant to blend in. You have been set apart, refined by the fires of time, sorrow, wisdom, and grace. You are not an ordinary soul. You are a chosen one. Here are 10 signs that you're a chosen soul in old age, and why it's more important than ever to guard your essence. 1. You feel a sacred responsibility, even when no one's watching. As you age, something unusual starts to happen. You become more conscious of your thoughts, your actions, and your presence. It's not pride. It's awareness. You feel watched, not by people, but by something higher. By God. By destiny. By eternity itself. While others in old age may feel the right to relax, morally or spiritually, you feel the opposite. You sense a calling to walk more carefully. To speak only when necessary. To become more invisible to the world, but more visible to the divine. Why you must guard yourself? Because your life has become a message. A walking prayer. And chosen souls are held to higher standards, even in silence. 2. You are growing quieter, but wiser. You're no longer drawn to loud debates or long explanations. You can see through lies faster. You can feel people's energy instantly. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's full of discernment. Others may think you're simply growing old and less social. But the truth is, your wisdom no longer fits in shallow conversations. You understand now that words are not always needed. Your presence alone speaks. Why you must guard yourself? Because wisdom is sacred currency. In the wrong hands, it can be twisted, misunderstood, or used against you. 3. People are drawn to you without knowing why. Strangers tell you their secrets. Younger people look up to you without you trying. Your presence feels safe, and your words have strange power, even when you don't intend to advise. This is not about charisma. It's spiritual magnetism. The chosen carry a light in their soul, even if they don't advertise it. Why you must guard yourself? Because people will come to draw strength from you, but not all of them will honor the well they're drinking from. Protect your energy. 4. You're often misunderstood, even by those closest to you. You have stopped trying to explain yourself to everyone. Why? Because you've learned that most people don't listen to understand, they listen to respond, or to judge. Your journey is too sacred to be dissected. This loneliness is not a punishment. It is separation. The chosen are not meant to be fully understood, because their guidance comes from realms that others haven't yet entered. Why you must guard yourself? Because you're walking a narrow path. And every time you try to widen it for others' approval, you lose your footing. 5. You experience divine timing, constantly. Things happen around you that can't be explained logically. You think of someone and they call. You pray for something, and it shows up. You leave a place early, and find out later that something bad happened there. Coincidences? No. Synchronicities. You live in divine alignment. Because you've spent years purifying your heart, your life now flows with sacred rhythm. Why you must guard yourself? Because this favor isn't luck, it's responsibility. The more in tune you are with the divine, the more you must avoid ego, greed, and distraction. 6. You're attracted to solitude, nature, and stillness. Parties bore you. Gossip drains you. The city feels too loud, too fake, too fast. But a quiet room, a walk in the forest, or the sound of rain, that feels like home. You've outgrown external stimulation. Your soul seeks deeper waters now. Silence is where the chosen are taught. Why you must guard yourself? Because in solitude, your real transformation happens. And distractions will always try to pull you back into noise. 7. You feel pain that isn't yours. You walk into a room and feel anxiety that doesn't belong to you. You see someone smile but feel the sadness behind it. You cry in prayer and you're not even sure why. This is empathy on a spiritual level. The chosen are often made into vessels, carriers of the unspoken grief of humanity. You feel what others suppress. Why you must guard yourself? Because not every emotion you feel is yours. And if you don't protect your heart, you will carry burdens you were never meant to bear alone. 8. Your past suffering now feels like sacred training. You look back at your life, and realize that the things which once broke you, actually built you. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every failure killed your pride. Every heartbreak opened your heart wider. Nothing was wasted. Everything was preparation. Why you must guard yourself? Because your scars are holy. They were exchanged for insight. Don't trade them again for fleeting pleasures or people who don't see your worth. 9. You feel pulled toward prayer, reflection, and the afterlife. You're not afraid of death, but you think about it often. Not with dread, but with awe. Eternity whispers to you more clearly now. The thin veil between this world and the next is something you can almost touch. You pray not for things, but for peace, light, and nearness to the divine. Why you must guard yourself? Because in this stage, you're crossing thresholds. And the enemy often tries one last time to distract or destroy before you reach your crown. 10. You are no longer who you used to be, and you know it. You look in the mirror and recognize your face, but not your soul. That younger version of you, the one who chased applause, feared rejection, or craved attention, is gone. In their place is someone deeper, quieter, more powerful. You are not an old version of a younger self. You are a reborn soul in an aging body. And this version of you was the real you all along. Why you must guard yourself? Because now you are dangerous to darkness. Now you are a witness of divine truth. And the world will either honor you, or try to extinguish you. Final reflection, the crown of old souls. In this world, youth is often worshipped. But the spiritual realm sees things differently. The older you get, the more golden your light becomes, if you've lived with awareness. The chosen soul in old age is not weak. They are not irrelevant. They are kings and queens in disguise. They have walked through fire and come out with the aroma of heaven. And now, their task is sacred, to live wisely, quietly, and with protection. Guard yourself, not out of fear, but out of honor. Because you carry something holy. Something few will understand, but many will feel. You are not ordinary. Never have been. Never will be. And now, in this twilight of your years, your soul is finally stepping into its true power. You were hidden, not forgotten. Chosen, not random. Refined, not broken. So walk gently. Walk purely. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to light the path. The journey of a chosen soul in old age is not one of retirement. It is a deeper calling into service, into light, into quiet transformation. While the world celebrates youth, you are becoming something far more valuable, a living scripture. Every wrinkle on your face carries a chapter. Every scar on your heart is a verse. And your silence, a sacred pause between divine revelations. You begin to notice how fragile time is. Days move faster now, but your soul moves slower. You no longer want to run, you want to absorb. You're no longer looking for achievements, you're looking for meaning. You don't crave crowds, you crave connection. Not many, but one or two souls who see you as you are. And even if they never come, you're at peace, because God sees you. Heaven knows your name. You are learning to hold space for others, without needing to fix them. You watch your children struggle, your friends make mistakes, your community fall into illusions, and instead of shouting advice, you whisper prayers. You realize, the chosen soul is not here to control, but to radiate presence. Presence that changes things without force. That heals without touching. That teaches without words. You understand now that not everything that can be said should be said. Because some truths are not for everyone. They are for those who are ready. And you, after decades of being misunderstood, finally accept that the ones who are meant for your light will find you in silence. The rest, let them go. The chosen soul in old age also carries a strange grief, the grief of being ahead of your time. You see things others don't. You sense danger before it arrives. You feel shifts in energy before they manifest. You know when someone is lying even if their smile is perfect. And yet, you say nothing, because you know they won't believe you until it's too late. So you wait. You pray. You cry in the quiet hours of the night, not out of weakness, but out of compassion, for a world that does not yet know what you've come to understand, that we are not here to build empires, but to become vessels. That we are not here to collect, but to reflect. That real success is not in what we gain, but in what we release. The older you get, the more sacred your battles become. The enemy is no longer outside. It is inside, ego, pride, attachment, comfort. Every day, you wake up with one silent question in your heart: how can I die more today? Not physically, spiritually. How can I die to my own need to be seen, to be right, to be praised? How can I live hidden, but whole? You begin to understand the mystery of the prophets, why they withdrew from crowds, why they fasted in deserts, why they wept in caves. You realize that isolation isn't always punishment. Sometimes, it's a divine cocoon. A place where wings grow in the dark. In old age, the chosen soul walks more slowly, not because they are tired, but because they are aware. Every step is prayer. Every breath is remembrance. The way they sip water, the way they fold their hands, the way they smile, it's all deliberate. It's all sacred. They no longer live to impress. They live to reflect. There are moments now when you feel completely unseen, uncelebrated, forgotten. The world moves on, younger voices rise, new names fill the airwaves. And you, once a leader, once a name on everyone's lips, are now just a quiet figure in the back. But don't be fooled. Heaven watches what earth ignores. Your prayers carry weight. Your forgiveness is recorded. Your hidden patience is written in gold. What others forget, angels remember. And what is unseen by the world is often most beloved by the divine. You have come too far to turn back now. You have cried too many tears, sacrificed too many dreams, and buried too many pieces of your old self to give up. And more importantly, your journey is not just for you. It is a path others will follow. There is a younger soul out there who is watching you, even from a distance. Maybe they don't know your full story. Maybe they've never told you how much you inspire them. But your quiet strength is changing them. You are showing them that aging doesn't mean fading. It means glowing, in a way the world cannot replicate. So guard your light. Protect your peace. Say no to invitations that drain your soul. Walk away from conversations that dim your spirit. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're finally honoring the sacred within. Your body may not be as strong. Your memory may not be as sharp. But your soul is a mountain now. You carry storms and sunrises within you. You have seen things fall apart, and still chosen to love. That makes you dangerous to darkness. Let no one convince you that your best years are behind you. The soul has no expiration date. In fact, some souls only begin to shine in the twilight. You are not in decline. You are in becoming. The becoming of something eternal. And what you become in these final years will echo in eternity. There is a story in every line of your face. Each wrinkle is a testament to battles fought in silence. To nights spent in prostration. To kindness given when it wasn't returned. To truth spoken even when your voice trembled. You have not lived in vain. You have poured yourself out for love, for family, for faith. And even if no one thanks you, you know. And more importantly, God knows. The chosen soul in old age no longer needs the spotlight. Their reward is not in applause. It is in knowing that they walked the path with sincerity. That they gave more than they took. That they loved without conditions. That they kept the faith, even when it hurt. There will be days when you feel weak. When the body fails you. When memories slip away. When the loneliness becomes too loud. But even then, remember, you are surrounded. By angels. By prayers. By light you cannot yet see. Every time you chose patience over rage, you became more radiant. Every time you forgave instead of seeking revenge, you became more powerful. Every time you surrendered to God's will, even when it broke your heart, you became more royal. And now, you wear a crown the world cannot see. A crown made of humility, endurance, and secret tears. A crown not of gold, but of glory. Not of fame, but of faith. So hold your head high. You are not ordinary. You never were. And the world will realize it, if not now, then later. But heaven already knows. You are the quiet light in a noisy world. The still river in a rushing crowd. The ancient tree that offers shade long after its fruit is gone. You are not done yet. You are just becoming real. And when your final breath comes, it will not be the end. It will be a return. A homecoming. A reward. Until then, walk gently. You carry something holy. You are chosen. And as you continue walking through the late chapters of your life, something else begins to awaken, a strange and sacred clarity. It isn't logical. It isn't even explainable. But it's real. You begin to see not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. Things once invisible now speak to you in symbols. A falling leaf becomes a reminder of surrender. A gust of wind carries a message, a sudden silence in the room feels like a visitation. The ordinary becomes holy. This is the sign of a soul that has passed through the fires of forgetfulness and come out remembering. Remembering who you are, and more importantly, why you were sent here. You stop asking, what should I be doing with the rest of my life? And begin asking instead, what should I be becoming for the rest of my life? Because action no longer impresses you. Presence does. Being is enough now. And that shift, that is the wisdom of the chosen. While many chase legacies built on external monuments, businesses, buildings, books, you are more interested in leaving behind something that cannot be touched, but will always be felt. You want your grandchildren to remember the peace in your eyes. You want strangers to walk into your home and sense something unexplainable. You want to live in such a way that even the earth remembers your footsteps with love. Because you understand now, everything physical fades. But the spiritual impressions we leave on others, those echo forever. And perhaps that's why you've become more sensitive to how you spend your time. You no longer tolerate gossip, small talk, or arguments that go in circles. You feel physical discomfort in spaces that don't resonate with your frequency. You used to ignore that discomfort. Now, you honor it. You walk away with dignity, not out of pride, but protection. Your energy is a sanctuary now. And not everyone deserves access to it. You notice how even your body reacts differently now. When you are around people who drain you, your joints ache, your breath shortens, your thoughts become cloudy. But when you're near people who are honest, kind, and aligned with the truth, your body feels like it's healing. It's because your soul is no longer willing to live in contradiction. Your outer life must reflect your inner life. Peace is not a luxury anymore, it's survival. And anything that disturbs that peace is no longer welcome. You also begin to notice how your prayers have changed. They're less about asking, more about aligning. Less about fixing the world, more about being an instrument of mercy. You stop begging for signs and start becoming one. You stop searching for miracles and start realizing that your continued breath, your quiet endurance, is already a miracle. And in this sacred season of your life, a new kind of love emerges. A love that is not possessive, not demanding, not desperate. But expansive, quiet, mature. You love people not because they complete you, but because you have become complete. You don't need them, you honor them. You don't seek to change them, you accept them, even from a distance. This is the love of the chosen. It doesn't chase, it blesses. And you realize that the fewer people in your life now are not a sign of failure, but of refinement. Those who couldn't walk this higher path with you weren't enemies, they were teachers. Their departure was the lesson. You finally stop grieving the ones who left, and you start thanking God they couldn't stay. Because if they had, you wouldn't have become who you are now. The chosen soul also becomes deeply acquainted with the seasons of spiritual dryness. You know what it's like to feel distant from the divine, even when you're doing everything right. You've learned to pray through numbness, to bow even when you feel empty. And that, perhaps, is your greatest offering. Not your strength, but your persistence, your refusal to give up on the light, even when the night is long. And you've come to learn something beautiful, that God does not measure love in noise or emotion, but in quiet loyalty. You become more loyal to the unseen than ever before. You start making decisions not based on profit, but on purity. Not on popularity, but on peace. You refuse jobs, opportunities, or relationships that others would chase, because they don't feel aligned with the sacredness you now carry. You let others wonder why. Let them think you're strange. You are. You were always meant to be. The chosen are not here to fit in. They are here to live as a reminder. And it is not arrogance that makes you walk away from certain places, it is reverence. For your soul, for your journey, for the light you were entrusted to carry. You understand now that not every invitation is divine. Not every open door is meant for you. Not every praise is safe. You've seen how the world cheers one moment and crucifies the next. You've learned to stop needing validation, and start needing only alignment. And in that, you become free. There's a moment in the life of every chosen soul when they realize, this path is lonely, but never alone. That moment usually comes after years of being misunderstood. After countless betrayals. After heartbreaks that were never explained. After praying through tears no one ever saw. But in the middle of that silence, you heard him. You felt the whisper, the reassurance, the invitation, walk with me. And you did. You gave up the crowd. You gave up the comfort. You gave up the applause. And you chose the fire. Not knowing that it would turn you into gold. Now, that gold shines quietly. In your gaze. In your words. In your restraint. In your kindness. In your boundaries. In your brokenness, too. Because even your cracks glow now. That's what happens when a soul becomes a lantern. You become the kind of person who walks into a room and brings peace. Not by talking, but by being. You don't need to announce your presence. The light does that for you. And those who can see it will be drawn. Those who can't will be irritated. Let it be. You are not here to convince. You are here to carry. And your soul knows it. So let the world get louder. You stay rooted. Let trends come and go. You stay timeless. Let others seek stages. You seek stillness. Let the young chase their dreams. You are becoming a dream fulfilled. Because when a soul reaches this point, they are no longer chasing life. They are preparing for the next one. Not with fear, but with peace, with honor, with a suitcase full of silent prayers, forgiven betrayals, and hidden acts of love. This is the wealth of the chosen soul in old age. This is the legacy. This is the path. Let your breath be dhikr. Let your silence be wisdom. Let your presence be mercy. You've seen too much to go back. You've lost too much to settle for noise. You've grown too much to shrink again. The world will call it aging. But heaven calls it ascending. And soon, very soon, your name will be spoken in a realm that never forgets. Where every tear becomes a garden. Where every wound becomes a doorway. Where every night you endured becomes a star in your crown. So walk gently. The gates of eternity are opening for you. You are not an ordinary person. You never were. You are a chosen soul. In the final stretch. Still carrying light. Still holding grace. Still whispering, "Here I am, my Lord." I kept going. I kept the fire. I walked alone if I had to. But I did not forget you. And that is enough. Always has been. Always will be.